Like, I look like a wet troll. And I was like, oh, good God. And she just looks blank stare at us. Like,
Oh, God, boo.
idiots. Like,
My heart would start racing enough where I would get out of breath that I couldn't even use my voice.
We have our first sponsor, so that's exciting.
Yes.
I don't know if we mentioned that.
No, we
Yeah.
didn't. You know
Shout
how I
out
told you?
Solar Ray.
Yeah, Solar Ray, because we love them. I was already a fan. I was already using them for my vitamin C.
That was a big thing for me because I was like, I don't know. Okay, should we educate the audience? I feel like we're
Yes.
learning so much about podcasting, obviously, because newsflash, we have never done this before. So we had no idea. And so we're like unraveling things. And like when it came to getting sponsors, like we listen to podcasts. So like we understand, we know how sponsorship works. Like you're like, hey, I like this thing. And that company's like, well, support you in some way for promoting that. One of the biggest things about doing this podcast is like authenticity. Like we want to be really authentic and like be ourselves. So like, if trying to think of like a bad example of some, like if like Viagra called us, like we're not,
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And
Read the room.
Or like, if Black Olives wanted me to sponsor them, I don't like them. So I am sorry. I can't authentically say.
I do. Black Olives, call me.
We could.
I will. Yeah, I'll do. Do you like green olives? Or
love them. Love them.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
So you can do. I like green olives too, but I'll let.
So olives in general, you're in a safe space.
Yeah, I will do the black olive ad, and you can do the green olive, and then we will join forces on the green olive ad as well,
and really drive it home. So yeah. So when Solar Ray approached us, it was really cool because you'd already been taking them.
Yes.
And I knew of them because I used to shop at Sprouts a lot, and I started really getting into supplements in my late 30s, as one does.
Yep.
And for me, what I've decided in the last like few years, I feel like you're gonna agree, is that usually the more like hip and punchy and like grabby a package is, like I won't mention any names, but maybe you're a famous influencer who has a lot of sisters who all have the same color hair, and you have
I know.
You're like, oh. And your packaging is really cool. It almost looks like it's a glass bottle, and everything's a gummy. So
which is hard for you because you love gummies.
I love gummies. And you know what? I've decided that all a company really has to do to get your attention is turn something into a gummy. And when I did more digging on Solar Ray, I felt like they were like better than I even thought they were, because they have one, unless this has changed, one thing that is a gummy. Because to me, that says, we're not ready for that to be a gummy. So we're not just going to push it just because you want it to be a gummy. You need to take it as a capsule, okay? Be a big girl. And I kind of liked that. I needed a little like, stop it.
Well, because they have
capsule.
They have integrity. They've been around since 1973, and I have
same year as Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. So it's good year.
Which is interesting because they also have the rainbow.
They do. Oh, you have your bottles there. That's awesome.
I was like, what am I taking? I had to have them here in front of me because I started taking their sharp mind focus thing, because I literally like I have to have these here because my mind is not like I've only taken it for like a couple days, but
maybe I should try that next.
Yeah. You and I are so big on supporting brands that we feel are morally aligned with us, and we feel are not putting a bunch of nasty chemicals in their products. And so there's like a very specific fit as far as anyone who we work with or partner with or sponsors us. And it just feels like kismet kind of that it worked out. We love you, Solar Ray, and we want other people
believing in us.
Yes, we want other people to get on board as well.
We have a discount code they gave us.
We do. We'll drop it in it's the Naked Room, just all caps, like we're screaming at you. The Naked Room.
Naked Room.
The Naked Room. We'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, I think it's like
20% off.
20%.
20% off. Yeah, it makes a big difference, especially if you're ordering like $200 worth of product.
Yeah, their stuff is so reasonable. I noticed too. Like when I was looking on the website, I was like, this isn't like for as clean and well tested as their stuff is, like you would think that they would jump on the bandwagon of, charging more, but
so much more.
it's
Yeah.
really affordable.
No dress code, no rules, just BYOU. It's time to tell society that it's a taboo. You can be the youest you here in the Naked Room.
Should we dive in?
Should we jive? Let's jive into these questions.
Do you want to dive into a question?
Let's dive into a question. I love doing questions. First, there's the ASMR element. And I just love the element. I love a surprise.
I hope it's a good one. I hope it's one of those where we're both like fired up.
Yeah. Ooh, what are you most fearful of? Kedagok, right? It's a good one.
Okay, so
hit her.
One of the things used to be getting up in front of people and speaking, which is like, everybody, that's like more feared than death, honestly. Like, public speaking, people are more afraid of that. But I want to talk about that one because I decided to face it head on. So I used to have a bodily reaction. Like my palms would sweat. Like this is going to be like most people out there are going to be like, yeah, I get this because this happens to me too. It's like this involuntary reaction that my body would have where my palms would sweat, my heart would start racing. My heart would start racing enough where I would get out of breath that I couldn't even use my voice. And so I think it was 2-3 summers ago, I was like, I'm done existing like this.
Yeah.
I know that I want to use my voice. I know that I'm meant to get my information, all this information that I have in my body, all of these feelings that I'm having out into the world. I know that I'm meant to use. So at the time I was building up my LinkedIn platform and I was starting to get to a place where I felt like I had a pretty good following and I wanted to utilize that for positive change, for doing something impactful. And so I asked the universe, like, can you please help me get over this fear that I have with using my voice? I know that I need to use it. And pretty quickly after that, I got a message in my inbox, LinkedIn inbox, inviting me to come and be on my first panel.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I ended up going on my own dime because a lot of speaking engagements, especially when you're not a known entity, they don't pay you. So you have to take care of it yourself. But I was like, this is worth it. Plus it's
an investment in your fear and in yourself.
Plus I hadn't been to San Francisco as an adult. Like since I moved to LA, the last time I was there was when I was 10. And then this was my first time going back. So I was on the panel and I remember having this the night before or the day of, I remember having this terrible negative self-talk. Like, just what the hell do you think you're doing? Why are you here? And so I'd been meditating pretty regularly at that point. And so I did a meditation or like a self-hypnosis or something.
Yeah.
And I was able to get on the other side of it. And I went and did the panel interview. And the nice thing about a panel is that you're not by yourself.
Yeah, that's
true. You're up there with
usually seated
3 or 4 other people. Like, yeah, we were behind a table.
Yeah, you've got all that. It's like when I have a guitar in front of me versus like not having.
Yeah. So I can like pick my fingers and whatever.
Yeah, you
whatever.
Put people off. Like
yeah. So ever since then, I started getting a lot more opportunities. I've been on a bunch of podcasts. Now we're doing our own podcast, and it's interesting to have this fear that I had basically in the rear view.
Yeah, like you worked through it. You got past.
Yeah. I did something in April, this photography. So I've been in the photography industry for a while. This photography school in Southern California that I know the person who runs the program invited me to come and talk to the students and their parents. It was around their graduation time frame. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, so you'll have a hour block basically to talk. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I did not prep I didn't know that I was supposed to do any
I remember this and you were like, I talked for an hour.
Yeah, I didn't know I was supposed to do any kind of presentation, no prep, nothing. And so I'm like, Chris, like the guy who leads the program, I'm like, Chris, I didn't make anything. He's like, oh, that's fine. You just get up and like talk about your experience, whatever. So I got up there. I talked for 55 minutes. I made it interactive. So I was asking questions throughout. And I know a couple of the students, I was like, they were probably like, don't talk, don't pick me. But
you're looking right at them.
I brought them into it. And one of the things that I noticed that was a huge point of improvement was I stopped and took deep breaths and reset myself when I felt the anxiety or the stress or whatever it was welling up. I was like, okay, this is your cue to do a reset.
Yeah.
And the amount of power that was in the reset was palpable.
Yeah.
The whole room was quiet. Everybody was paying attention to what I was going to say next. Granted, these are photography students and I've had some cool jobs in the photography industry and they're interested in what I have to say. But I was like, damn, I'm just going to carry this with me forever. Like this moment that I have of being able to stop and reset. And it's
Take
been
control almost.
Yeah.
Of your own.
And it's been night and day. I feel like I could get up and talk in front of like a stadium of people at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I feel like it doesn't matter the size of the room. Almost, I've heard a lot of musicians actually say that it's harder to play in a small room than it is in a stadium.
It is, yes.
It's more intimate and you actually make eye contact with people. But
you can't like dissociate like as much,
right.
I think, as you can. I tried to go on TikTok and do like a live where I just like played, and I was like, no big deal. I played on stages. Like this is nothing. It's just me in front of my phone screen even. And I had a very similar thing where I felt a little just like, I guess it wasn't even nervous. I felt really awkward, which almost translated in my body as like nervousness, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I did like a couple songs and then I just kind of like closed it off and was like, all right,
yeah,
that's it. And
you were like, TikTok, I did stop.
TikTok has stopped. I was talking to our mutual friend Emily about it, who's also a singer-songwriter, and she that resonated with her. She's like, oh yeah, I like small like in front of and like in front of camera, which I'm like that I think in general. Like when I know there's a camera on me, it's a little like I have trouble kind of getting out of my head about that.
I feel that too. Like I've started noticing more things about my face than I ever did before since being on camera and Zoom calls and all that stuff. So I do pick those things out, but I also kind of love being in front of the camera too.
Yeah.
Like there's that little side of me. Like I like being in still images a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's stopping time and I know what
your angles,
certain things are going to look like.
Yeah.
And so that part,
really figured those out yet either.
You're naturally photogenic though.
It's like you say, a lot of people say that, but then I'm like, have you seen the bad photos of me?
We all have those though.
I know, but it's so, I feel like I'm so photogenic to me means like almost at any angle, like you just like can catch you. I have gotten to the point where I do know some of my angles where it's like, if I know there's a camera on me, I might like, do whatever it might be, like lift my chin up and like elongate myself. But if I don't know somebody's taking a picture of me, my poor sister, when she was visiting, took a picture of me like playing again. Like granted, I was performing, I was like playing guitar and singing, so like there's just like there's no saving the faces that I make when I'm being genuinely like like singing. But it was like I'm like, oh, look at these cute photos she posted from their weekend visiting me. And I'm like going through them and I like immediately untagged myself. I felt so bad because I'm just like, to me, and I'm sure she's my sister and she loves me, so she probably looked at it and was like, oh my God, like I was there, I heard her sing this, like her memory of it is like this beautiful moment of me like sharing an original song. My view of it is like I look sweaty. I'm like, I have this like look of concern on my face. I'm pretty sure I'm like singing about addiction and like, and my, my 11s are like furrowed and I'm hunched over my guitar. Like I look like a wet troll. And I was like, oh, good God. Like, get it out of here. And so I think that photogenic is
wet troll. I knew you were going to say troll too. That's the other part. I was not expecting the adjective.
Oh, it's just soaking wet. But like sweaty wet troll.
We should put the photos in
But it's funny because I feel like most people would be like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Like, but to me, it is because I just like didn't know there was a camera on me. The angle's like kind of weird. Like, it's just so funny. Like, and but like I know what you mean though, because like you and we've done a lot of photos together, and like I do love like
all the photos I've taken of you.
Yeah, you're also a professional photographer.
Not to toot my own horn.
Yeah, toot though. Like, yeah, like it's so funny. I remember too, I went to visit LA when I still lived in Nantucket, and the guy I was dating at the time, we went together. A friend was getting married in Malibu. And I point like it's here. I'm not in California. I'm like just up the road in Malibu. Like, but we were at the Roosevelt Hotel and we were swimming, and I felt really cute in my outfit. Like I had this like orange bikini, and like I'd really like kind of curated. I never, like up until a few years ago, never curated outfits when I traveled. It was like just an absolute shit show. I would like panic pack maybe, or just like get overwhelmed and pack things that I thought I needed but that didn't go together, and then I'd get to where I was going and I just wouldn't have anything to put together as an outfit, and it drove me nuts. And finally my friend Mary, who's like pro travel, she's like, just pack like monochrome, like pack everything one color, items that you like, but then you can always mix and match them, and you know they're going to kind of like go, like just pack the same kind of color scheme. Don't think about it as outfits. Think about it as items that you enjoy wearing that all kind of are interchangeable.
Yeah, it's smart.
It's smart.
And then you don't have to take as much.
Exactly. And so that was her, like she's a light packer too. So I did that finally for this trip. And so I was really stoked. I was like, oh my God. And I was like looking good. It was like summer, you know, I'd just come off of working like a bunch of manual labor, and I was like, oh yeah. So I'm like, I think he was like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of you like laying on the lounge chair. This boy, the angle in which he took this photo, it's like, it is like, it takes work to make a photo look that bad. Like, I'm like, we obviously ended up breaking up. He hated me, I guess. Like, like he might as well have been taking it from like underneath of my ass. Like it was like I looked so large Marge. Like I took up that entire lounge chair, and my cute outfit that I was so stoked. So you know that was like early in the day, because I love a good early, like, you know, cocktail by the pool on vacation. So that was like probably 10 or 11 o'clock. Rest of the day, I'm shot. I'm just like, nothing looks good on me. That's exactly what I look like. He hands me my phone and I look at him with horror. Like, is that me? Like, is this a setting on the phone that I didn't know existed? Like, did you expand it? Like, it was like so bad. I will find the photo. I probably deleted it, honestly, but if I still have it, I will share it, because that is one where like most photos I look at, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I do look like that. And this one I was like, I don't look like that. Like there's no way. I was feeling myself so much 15 minutes ago in the mirror when we came down from our hotel room, and now I'm like, what is happening?
Who is this devil man?
We'll talk off cam about that, off pod.
What's your biggest fear?
Having shitty photos taken of myself. I mean, that's actually it's up there. No, I think like, I don't know. We've talked a lot about how I think most people are like death, you know, or even like you said, like it's not of death, but it's of like losing your loved ones.
Yeah, that's another one up there for me.
I feel like it's a fear, but it's not. When I think of like, what are you fearful of? It makes me think of like, what like takes up a lot of space in my brain. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe not necessarily like I'm fearful in the moment of it, but to me, it's like, okay, I must have a big fear of that because it's a common like thought. And I think it's like not being able to save my loved ones feels very like that resonates with me. Like, I feel like I always want to position myself where I know like how to help somebody or where they're at or whatever. Like, you talk about leaving your phone in the other room on a podcast that we did recently. And I can't do that. There is a deep fear in me that my phone is going to ring, somebody is going to need me, and I'm not going to be there to answer it.
Okay.
And so, and I've played around with that. I have gotten to the point where I have, you know, on the iPhone, you can set it to where, like, if you silence your calls, you can make it to where, like, a handful of people can still get through.
Mm-hmm.
So I did eventually get to that point where it's like my mom, my sister, Oliver, I think, are like on there. So if I do really want to like shut down and turn it off, like, but I wouldn't put it in the other room. I think I just had maybe too many calls in my life where somebody needed me, and I just fear that might happen. And it's kind of irrational, I guess, like, because it's like, or I guess when I lived in California, I felt this is irrational. Most of the loved ones I have live on the other side of the country. If they call and they need me, I'm not going to be able to get there in time to do anything. Like, I can get there to like comfort somebody eventually. But now I kind of do feel like I'm close enough to where if they needed me, I'm 3.5. I mean, at the way that Finchams drive, I could probably get there in 2.5 hours. Like, I could probably really pedal to the metal. But so that feels fearful to me. That just reminds me of the story about when did I tell you about the fear hole story with Tater Tot?
I don't know about fear hole.
I have to tell you now.
What is a fear hole?
Great question, Kelly. Okay, total side. We're going on a side quest. Okay,
fear hole.
I need to tell you about fear holes. Our youngest dog, Tater Tot, we took her to the vet this is when we were still in LA. This is probably like within the year before we left to come here. I think actually it was probably about a year ago, because we had her spayed like a year ago yesterday or something. It came up on my Facebook memories. So when we took her in to get examined, we were trying to find out if she was going to be going in heat, because we were trying to go on this big cross-country van trip, and we didn't want her to be like really post-surgery, you know? And so anyway, so we took her into the vet, and this vet that we went to, it was Banfield. They're a big chain. So they have a ton of different vets there. So you don't always get the same one unless you request them. So this particular day we had a different vet that we hadn't had yet. And they asked if they could take her into the room to examine her, which they typically do. You know, they're like, we'll take her, we'll bring her back. So they took her into the room. They come back in, and I think the vet was wearing a mask. Like, I think that she still was being cautious about that. And so I think, so that made her a little hard to understand. But she comes out and she brings Tater Tot, and Tater's all excited to see us, and she's wagging her tail. And she looks at us, and we're like, how did she do? You know, she's like our little baby puppy. She was only like a year old at this time, or not even. And she was like, we found her fear hole. And I was like, just silence. And I'm like, excuse me? And she repeats herself. We found her fear hole. And I was like, and Oliver looks at me because he thinks this is a female term that only the vet and I share. But he is just like unaware of. He's like, oh, okay, they're talking female parts about Tater Tot, and it's like slang that I don't know. And so
it's like so typical, dude.
For the third time, I go, excuse me? And she takes her mask down. And she says, we found her fearful. And I was like, and then to make matters worse, the vet that we normally have is like younger, and she's kind of like hip, and she's really funny. She's like covered in tattoos, and like always would kind of riff with us. Like, we talk about our animals as though they're our children. And so we have voices for them. Like, and she would like totally get on board with that. The other vet would always be like, oh yeah, I'm Tater Tot, like whatever, and like use the voice. So Oliver and I are very playful, and we have kind of the same attitude with this vet, which kind of falls on deaf ears. Because I'm like, oh my God, I thought you said her fear hole. And I was like, what's that? And she just looks blank stare at us. Like,
oh God, boo.
Idiots. Like, what is wrong with you?
What's the opposite of yes and? She no butted you.
She no butted us. Yeah. Ugh. And so Oliver is like, Tater Tot's more like his baby. And so he's getting kind of protective. And he's like, well, yeah, like you took her in the back room. Like, you know, like the vet was almost trying to tell us that she was like oddly fearful. And I was like, did she do it? Like, I'm thinking, did she try to bite you or something? She's like, no. Like, she just was definitely very fearful. And I almost felt like she was looking at us like, did you do something to this dog? Like, I'm like, you did something. You like took her in the back room and maybe poked around her fear hole. I don't know. Like, what the fuck is happening? Anyway, so to bring it full circle, I'm fearful.
You did tell me that.
Yeah.
Because I remember that.
I'm glad you know now.
We found her fear
hole. And we reference it sometimes now, so I'm glad because you might hear us do that and you know what we're talking about.
It's so silly. Okay. Oh, this is another one of mine.
Number 2.
Oh, okay. I wrote this on a day when I was maybe feeling this way.
Oh.
But then I started taking libido pills and all bets are off. Do you feel shame around sex or sexuality? Let's dive into any roots.
Oh, okay.
Freaking therapist over here.
I think I can pretty confidently say no. I don't. And I think that's one of my, like, I'm like, I don't know how to say too much or say enough without saying too much. But like, I have been told that I have helped people feel less shameful about their sexuality.
Oh, you're like a sex therapist.
Maybe. And yeah. I don't know why. Like, I feel like.
Are you talking about like your girlfriends or like dudes that
partners?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like dude, which I guess I should, say
that
dudes.
was my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel really free when I'm having sex. Like, I don't feel fear. Nice. I don't feel fearful, but I do fear my fear. Your
fear hole.
I feel my fear hole.
Yeah.
No, I
don't want nobody poke her in her fear hole.
No fear hole. No, I feel like I try to think like I'm like when you say that I'm like there should have been or not should, but there must have been a time earlier on where I felt kind of not fearful, where I felt shameful. Or had shame around it, but I can't really remember I don't know. I think that I didn't grow up around, I don't know where it comes from, I guess is what I'm saying. Because you talk about like the roots of it. I don't know where my confidence about it comes from because I didn't grow up in a like, not sexual household, but like I didn't grow up my parents weren't very affectionate with each other. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that could have went both ways where like I didn't ever see them be affectionate with each other. So I then mirrored that in my relationships, but it went the opposite way. Like mm-hmm. I knew probably from Disney movies and whatever that I wanted affection in my life. And I did feel very comfortable with that and feel very much like that was something I wanted and needed, and that it was like oddly lacking in my household. Like, mm-hmm. I'd go to other friends' houses and like their parents would be like kind of like lovey-dovey with each other. And I always thought it was so cute, like they'd be like, "Ew, mom, dad." And I was like, "Oh, I love the love." That's the Libra in me, I guess. But, I don't think I have a lot of shame around it. I think the typical stuff where it's like, I'm not out like, I don't know, like I'm not super open, or not open, but I'm not super like vocal about it all the time. I'm not like, "Oh, everyone, I fucked last night, Kelly." Unless we start talking about it, then I don't feel shameful like talking. But I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like a little wild feral, like I love being outside and I have sex. So I guess that's not shame. I guess I don't have much shame around it because I guess if I did, I'd be like hiding in a, somewhere where I'm like, I don't want anybody to, not that I want people watching me, this has gone down a really weird rabbit hole.
But you're not thinking about that part. You're like, I am just in the moment and I'm free. And
I think it's very similar to like when I like perform, like not that I'm performing when I have sex, but it's a very similar feeling where like everything else melts away and I feel very in the moment of what's happening.
You're like a dog.
A little bit,
very, very in the moment. Just very present.
Yeah, it's a dog on a bone or. I didn't anticipate that, but that was so perfect. This episode is called Dog on a Bone or Fear holes and dog boners.
Oh my God.
No. What about you? Do you have shame? I think I know a little bit of this because we've talked about it before, but
I'm totally calling this episode "What is a Fear Hole?"
What is a fear hole? Let's dive in or not. Oh my God.
Do I? Okay, so yes, I've contended with it, and I think it's because okay, I always felt kind of similarly to what you're talking about for a very long time. And then in my mid-20s, so we've all had experiences with partners where we feel uncomfortable or we've felt like it's easier to say yes than no.
Yeah.
There have been times where I felt like because of the people pleaser thing, I've just been like, okay, I'll go along with it. Yeah. And that definitely has a psychological effect over time.
For sure.
And then you get mad about it later on when you're older and you have a lot more awareness about how that's very backwards and messed up. But I was rejected in 2 back-to-back relationships, which is basically like 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really messed up my self-confidence. And I think that there's still some residual feelings from that, even though I'm completely confident in the way that my husband, Curtis, feels about me.
Yeah.
There's still something very deep-rooted around that. And I feel like I do have some like residual stuff from childhood, probably. Like we talked in another episode about how my mom found that like XXX rated magazine.
Yeah.
And of course triple X rated 10 X's magazine, and how like her reaction to seeing that was completely warranted and normal. Like my 13-year-old,
like visceral and like shock with you. I can see that.
My 13-year-old is now
I have a follow-up question about that.
Okay. So I think that I associated certain things, even though it was never meant to bring shame.
Yeah.
I associated certain things with having to hide, conceal.
Yeah, it kind of stamped that on you. Like that.
Yeah. And then it's like, I don't really want to reveal. I feel a little like I'm hiding that I'm like watching porn every once in a while or something. Like I shouldn't tell people about that.
Yeah.
So there are little bits and pieces, but not really like an overarching feeling of being closed off to it. But I think there are things that I have tried to dive into a little bit, like shadow parts around that I've tried to dive into, especially in the last few years, because I don't want to exist in a place like I did start taking the libido supplement because I just haven't been like as interested. I guess
chemically things are changed.
Yeah, but I'm like that's not acceptable to me to just let that be the reality of the circumstance, right? So I'm like, I need to investigate that a little further and understand what's going on. So, because I want to have intimacy with my husband. I don't want it to just be one of those things where we're like, well, this is just the way things are now.
Yeah.
And I care to do that. So I do want to investigate a little bit more into the things that kind of inhibit me from feeling very open and free. And yeah, it's multifaceted. Okay, what's your follow-up question?
Okay, so you said in a previous episode, you talked about that time where you got this the magazine like came to your house and it was like wrapped in white paper and you were curious as you were I think 12 or something like 13.
Yeah.
And so was that you're now here in Charlottesville and you're staying like because you're here temporarily just visiting, you're staying at your parents' house. I
have regressed.
I know you feel like you've regressed and I'm like, you're just visiting. Like,
I know.
And also, like we have a spare bedroom too. You're always welcome here. But I'm very curious, and you don't have to answer this if it's too personal, but I wonder if there's any attachment to that shame now that you are with your partner in the room, like in the house, and if it's affecting your sex life or your intimacy to like, because you were probably in that house when it happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the same room.
In the same room. Oh my God. What if she still has the magazine somewhere?
Oh, she ripped that shit up.
Really?
I heard her doing it.
My mom ripped up snapped in half a Tenacious D CD.
Oh.
For same. Honestly, It probably wasn't even the content. It probably just like she worked like a 14-hour fucking shift and got home and I was like blasting like, like whatever I think it was like the inward singing song that Jack Black does where he's like, no fucking singing. Like he like does the like where he doesn't stop singing at all.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, she came up and was just like crack. Like I'm done with this.
That would drive me crazy after a long shift too.
But does that affect you? If you don't.
Yeah, Curtis too. He's like, it's weird.
Yeah, because it's like your mom's house.
Yeah, exactly. So we just have to
get creative.
We're really enjoying watching some movies together and touching pinky tips.
Oh my God. Like you can't even get close to you. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
What's up, y'all? This is Kelly, co-host of the Naked Room podcast that you're listening to right now. I am leaving a voicemail on our anonymous voicemail hotline. Yeah, you know it's me, but you already knew my voice anyway. I'm leaving this voicemail so that you know that this line exists. If you feel like contributing to a previous episode or you just want to get something off your chest, you can call us and leave us a voicemail here at 1-213-537-9791. I'll also drop the number in the show notes. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you're listening, share it with someone. Then we have more people.
Yeah, exactly. Share it. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Give us a 5-star review everywhere.
The Naked Room podcast is brought to you by hot coffee, cold showers, grit and determination, the power of being a woman.
We'd like to thank ourselves. This is a self-run operation. We have done all of this on our own, other than with the help of our hot sound guy, my husband, Curtis Keeper, who curated all of our equipment and got us up and running.
If you'd like to sponsor us, reach out.